Hey folks, welcome to week 2 of IDS 300, Introduction to IDS. First week went by fairly quickly. You got to remember that this is a 8-week course and things are going to move really fast. A couple of you have told me that you've had some difficulty getting the textbook, and I'm sorry for that. I chose a textbook that was reasonably priced, and I'm now learning that the bookstore didn't order enough of them. I don't know what to tell you. Just as soon as you can get your book, get cracking. So, week 2. This week, just to give you the big heads up for work during the week, you got quiz number 1. And in this first quiz, I can tell you that I'm going to ask you some, again, I'm going to remind you that it's 5 questions, open book, open note, and open-ended questions. So your narrative is important in the writing. And I'm looking for depth of response. You know, a one-sentence response to the question is not going to be sufficient. You got to answer in depth. So I'm expecting 2 or 3 paragraphs per question. And for the quiz, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to be looking at the philosophy questions that were asked, that were covered in last week's reading, particularly Plato. So, kind of be on your toes. Alright, so this week, going into week 2, our focus is going to shift from like what is art and the meaning and philosophy of art to the intersection between the law, or law in general, and the artist. And we're going to look at some overview of copyright. What does copyright mean? What are the protections for the artist? What are the protections of the public? What role does government play in copyright? And we're going to probably look at, arguably, the litmus test, the benchmark for major copyright, which is Bridgman versus Carell. This week also you're going to have another journal assignment. The first week's journal assignments in general were pretty good. Again, you got to write. You know, 1-2 sentence response kind of isn't good enough. I'm trying to measure what you're thinking. I don't want you to tell me what you read. I mean, I read that as well. I'm interested in what you think about what you read, and that needs to be reflected in the journals. So, you know what you got to do in week 2. This is an abbreviated week because Monday the university's closed for Martin Luther King Day. So work as quickly as you can starting on Tuesday. Remember deadlines for the work. Midnight on Saturday. That includes the quiz for this week. If you run into any difficulties, you got problems, unforeseen things that kind of pop up, let me know. Let me know about them as much in advance as you can. I don't like to work at the very last minute. But anyway, again, I just want you to know I'm glad you're in the class. Hope things are going well. Hope you're managing okay the speed of the course. And you know what you got to do in week 2. And I'll be seeing you virtually next week. And good luck this week on the quiz.